All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a wonderful day. I got another watch list for you, and Meta stock is crashing. My goodness, the earnings came out after the bell, and it wasn't the Grim Reaper report. They beat on some metrics. Their ad revenue, it wasn't the worst, but man, after Mark Zuckerberg started talking, and even once the analysts got a hold of the data, everybody has been ripping it apart, and literally, that is my pretty picture for the day. This is a 10-year chart on Meta. And now, after this move, the last time they've ever been at 104 was 2015. So it's pretty wild, Chatadonia. It's gonna be wild tomorrow, but I'm telling you, the market is gonna go crazy because now we have Apple, Amazon, Caterpillar in the morning, McDonald's in the morning. There's been a lot, and even despite what we saw yesterday, remember, we were saying it may be short-lived, so we weren't caught off guard, but now with the rest of these reports, it's gonna get good, but most of them have been good so far, except for Microsoft, Google, and now Meta. Oh my goodness. So, we got a lot to talk about. I got a nice breakdown of the day, what to be watching for tomorrow, and how we're going to set up, as well as the rest of the week. We actually have a little bit of data on the way too, and that could be important. And then I got the plays for you. Oh man, I got some good ones. And if you watched yesterday, you're going to like it. And then we're going to go over all the plays. It was another good trading day. So, drop your thumbs up on the video, make sure you're subscribed, and if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open, youtube.com/thestock, I messed it up, /the stock market, but listen, it's free 99, we will get you fast news, we'll get you all of the earnings, all we ask is you are positive, respectful, and if you have something to contribute, I'm telling you, it's a very diverse group of people. I'm talking backgrounds, ages, trading styles. Don't play with me, man. But hopefully we see you there. It's free 99, and I love you. That's it. I just keep the peace, man. Always keep the peace, Chatadonia. Run it.
Walking to the couch, it's the joints on the legs. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a live, but I still reinvest it. Feel how I feel, then you feel like it's a blessing. I just want the lesson. I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down.
Well, right off the bat, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, nothing happened today. Literally, pretty much where we closed was near where we opened, and where we opened was right near where we closed the day before. Believe it or not, even though the NASDAQ is lower, and that one was a noticeable effect, the Dow didn't move. It was 0.01, and the S&P, it says 0.74, but just go look at the SPX, go look at the SPY, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It was pretty much the same. Now, this is that earnings effect. We were talking about it yesterday, but now I'm going to jump into key number 2. Part of what we had today, it was the same effect as what you saw yesterday. There was like 1 or 2 bad earnings. Again, we were coming off those bad earnings, but in the morning, there was a lot of other beats. Everything else was good. And then now again, the dollar dropped. If you don't know, the dollar is at like a 5-week low now. It has been getting beaten down. All the other currencies, they're now starting to bounce a little bit, but that has been helping out as the strong dollar was hurting, but also the bonds started to rally too. This was exactly what we saw yesterday, but we brought it up today. Euro closed. That's why it was so important, and that's literally you didn't hold highs no longer than 15 minutes after Europe closed today because there was a lot of those positive effects, but after Europe closed, we came back to digesting the reality of the earnings, but like we were saying, you have so many events headed from data all the way to Apple and Amazon now that people decided to kick it a little bit. And that's why the price difference on the overall index is NASDAQ got clobbered, but nothing else really moved too much. So with that being said now, that is your third key. We were prepared for this today. Like we said, respect both sides, especially with so much about to happen. And now, tomorrow may be another repeat of what we got today. The earnings, like Apple, everybody's already been saying it. Amazon's important, but really Apple, that's going to be the one that it's pretty much going to set the wave or finalize a lot of what we're going to be seeing. Now, the earnings in the morning, they are also going to have an effect, but what I'm expecting is another repeat of what we saw today. But now, if the earnings in the morning start to decline, if Caterpillar, very economically related, even McDonald's, if those do not do good, or if they warn about inflation or whatever metric that could get people a little worried here, that's not going to be good. But again, we're going to talk about the data. We had some today. People are reacting a little weird to it, but overall, if those earnings are bad, and then if Meta keeps getting bludgeoned right now and it goes below even 100, that may factor into it, because then you won't get a bounce on the Dow. Tech will be hurt because of Meta, and then now you will get that downside tilt. So besides all that, I just hope you realize no matter what, it's all going to be meaningless. Like you saw today, it did a lot of stuff to barely move. Even if tomorrow ends up having a big move down or a big move up, Apple and Amazon can change that. And now, here's your final key. You got a bunch of data still on the way. So these earnings have been important. We're kind of at the same level. We want to pick apart the data, but when it's all said and done now, we have been getting this data reaction. Like I was saying, new home sales came in today, and it was good data. It was better than what it was feared, but it was still negative. But that sent the market going up, and people were talking about the GDP data today, about some of the estimates. Well, you're going to get that tomorrow, and it actually could move things. And now also you get a PCE gauge tomorrow and Friday. Both of these are inflation related. That will be important. And then on top of it, on Friday, you're going to have the consumer sentiment. Remember, inflation, all of that after the non-farms, that had a big effect. So it's all important data. We're going to have to see. Then following all of that, it's Powell and everything else. But now what we got to watch for, let's get the tone in the morning. Facebook was bad. You tie that into everything else. If anything goes wrong tomorrow, if the bonds have pressure, if the dollar have negative pressure, if no earnings are good, then we're going to expect that downside tilt. Otherwise, get ready for more of this scramble as we lead into Apple and Amazon tomorrow. So I hope you're ready, but let us get into the plays. So I think I did that one weird. I don't know. You got me off guard, man. But I'm excited. We did a lot of plays today. It was actually very good. Before I go into the trays, let's just run it, man. I liked a lot of the plays yesterday. We ended up executing on them. And really, a lot of these plays that I'm putting on here, you've been seeing what I've been holding. So I'm giving you guys these plays, but it's like, really, these are what I am watching. So coming into tomorrow, I'm going to have a big focus on Meta. We actually traded it after the bell, and before I had a good trade, kind of turned to a bad trade, but now I'm holding it. I think you're going to get a lot of movement tomorrow, or it's just not going to move at all. Just don't forget what happened with like Microsoft. It could kind of just flatline after a big earnings move. So sometimes pre-market may be bigger, but I think either tomorrow or even just following it after Apple, this thing is going to move big, and I really like it both ways. So that's the first thing. But second thing, if it goes too cheap, man, you saw me with Netflix. I like some of these big names. These are like OG long-term ones from like long time ago. Again, we've never added them to the YouTube accounts, but if that thing gets cheap enough, maybe the long-term, but we got our deposits. I like being patient, so we don't need to necessarily force it. Again, Netflix did good for us on the growth side, so let's see, but it is possible. But now, the thing you got to look for tomorrow, depending on how it plays out, use the premium crush to your advantage. Again, post earnings, so much was priced in. I think there's going to be a lot of movement on it, but even if you want to trade the options, I'm going to go with shares, but I think you could kind of use these opportunities to game the premium. And if you were watching Boeing yesterday or today, there was a lot of that. So that is play number one. And speaking of Boeing, play number two, Arch Coal. It's not Boeing, but the logic is very similar to Boeing. Now, I'm still in this play. I have my 25 shares. I'm holding it before earnings. Same thing with the McDonald's one. I'm just taking the risk with it. But honestly, I don't like that because now I'm subject to like 5-10% tomorrow, depending on what it does. So watch them. They report in the morning, but the commodity plays, they can have some delayed reactions. We've seen it many times, but now Arch, just like Boeing, they have their conference call at 10 a.m. So it's middle of the day, meaning you're going to get the report people will react, but by the time that conference call comes in at 10 a.m., new information will be presented and there will be a potential play. So like Boeing, what I did this morning, I read the earnings, it was bad. The stock was up, it was doing its thing, and it was still hard to tell. Again, there was some good news that kept it going up, and you saw the market, so you got to be very, very careful. But literally, Boeing, the news came in, and ever since then, right on the dot, 2-3 minutes later, you got all of your action. So we even made a trade on that, but Arch, it's going to be the same setup. So let's see what happens tomorrow. That is play number 2, and then finally, baby, play number 3. Intel. They have earnings tomorrow after the bell. And they're a slow mover, so be careful too, because even both options and shares, it's like kind of good and bad, but it doesn't move a lot, believe it or not. But I like them, and really what I'm looking for, not only did some of the chip makers have a upside move after hours, it was like ServiceNow and ANET, anything related to data centers. That's why NVIDIA started surging, so there was a little bit boost to the chips there after the bell, but now they had the Mobileye IPO, and I'm watching for a delayed effect. Pretty much they lowered the Mobileye offering. It came in and then closed up 30% today. The higher Mobileye goes, the more money they literally make, the more intrinsic value becomes on Intel. So I think it's kind of hesitant here for earnings, but if Mobileye keeps running, I am going to be looking for that effect, and I really think that'll be an interesting one. So watch out for that one. But those are the main plays. As far as now everything else, let's start with the first trades and everything for the day. But it was Boeing. I went with the short literally 3 minutes in. I shorted it way too low. If I waited 3 more minutes, I could have got an additional $3 per share. Honestly, we hit it good, but I closed too early. Does that happen? I've never done that in my life. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Anyways, but I did Boeing. I shorted it, 145.05, held that out for a little bit. Then I also went positive on the ES. I was noticing the flips there. We had the downside. I was like, I don't know. It's kind of holding up and everything I was saying yesterday. So I felt comfortable with some upside flips. I held this one. It was about like 30 minutes, I believe. But 3845 to 3859 and some change. I made about $700 on that one. Closed out of that one. Closed the Boeing at 141. Got about $4 a share, like $200. Got out of that one. Then I opened another ES to the upside, 3851. It was like a little bounce. It went up. It was like another 150 or like 200. Scalped out of it there again. And that was another like 8-minute trade. Then before the bell, then I did another ES. I skipped that one before the meta. But I went long after that at 3846 after, again, it hit a low, went up, and then came down. Then I bought the other low, but I held that one there. But then I opened a meta prior to earnings. I said, hey, it's pricing in $20. Let's say if it drops $20 on 25 shares, I was like, it's going to be like a $500 loss or something. I said, let's go with it. Expectations are already so low. So I went in at 129 with 25 shares. And then you'll see here, I closed out of the ES. I got like another 100 or 200 bucks there. I need to double check what it was, but the overall P&L on the ES today, it was about $1,100 realized. But then Meta, you'll see, I closed out at 135.78. Earnings came out. We were there. You could watch it live on stream. It came out. It was looking good. And then right when I saw the news, they cut guidance. I was up on the shares and I just dipped out after hours, took my $200. But then you'll notice I added double the amount of shares at 114. So I used some of the profit. I got $200 on that Netflix or the Meta. And then I went into it, but I like it around here. I was really looking at the 113 price. I thought it would hold up a little better. I did not think this was the Grim Reaper report, but you're kind of getting a Grim Reaper reaction here, and that's why tomorrow we'll see what happens. But overall, a good day as far as the holdings now. As you can see, the game of chicken, the pound got me again. And I'm going to write it. Again, everyone keeps asking me about it. I don't like it. I'm down 3,700. That one is not good. But really, I'm looking at the safety valve coming into next week. I think Powell, that's going to affect the whole global economy. By Powell, depending on how it's looking, that's where I'm going to have to either close, use the volatility to my favor, or it might hurt me a little bit more. But I'm still riding that one. So in that one, the ES, there's the options. Again, just holding. They're still actually positive to the upside. The MES play from yesterday, I was up like $200. Now it's only up 45. Again, that's how it moved. The MYM, we lost more money on it today, and even then, the Dow futures, they're not going down even with everything. Like, I think ES futures, oh, never mind. I'm sorry. Yeah, your futures are actually up 0.25% right now. Yeah, even after Facebook. So that's why the Dow is there. So again, this was just, I took it a couple minutes ago, but I don't know when you're watching this. But there's that, the Apple short, riding that into tomorrow. Then the ACAM lost some gains in holding. The McDonald's down 700. I said I'm riding it into earnings. We're going to see. I kept forgetting to throw this one up over the week, but this play has gone against me. But I feel like it had the pre-earnings run up in those 2 days. That's why I'm like, no, come on, even with Chipotle. But we will see what happens. This is where some of these plays could get a little bit crazy, but then still holding the yin and a couple of others, and then Arch, and then I think that's about it. And then the UNG, we've had some good days here so far, so we will see what happens. But that is everything. I think tomorrow's going to have a lot of action. And again, now Apple and Amazon, I'm going to look for the tilt. Watch right now, even China open and everything else. But you know what the key is going to be. And then after these earnings, one more big set of data. And then it's Jerome Brady, baby. It's Jerome Brady. So I hope you're ready. But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need you to not take yourself out of the game. I don't know, man. Y'all are like Steph Curry, but like Steph Curry was the coach, and he's like putting himself on the bench. Do not take yourself out of the game. I said it. I said a story today on stream because I'm a little short guy. You know that? And why do you think I got so much? I got that Napoleon energy, son. Why do you think I got to compensate so much? Why do you think I'm on YouTube, dog? We're all short. Anyways, but that's not the point. What I'm trying to say is back in the day, I played a lot of sports. I'm a competitive individual. But what I like to do is talk smack. Because if I could get in your head, if I could get you all this, if I could get you focused on, you ever seen Happy Gilmore? He goes, yeah, you suck. Jackass, you remember that? Yeah, that's it. If you get in your head, that's where they get you, bro. Do not get in your head. Play these moves. You can see it, but here's the simple part. You don't want to deal with it? Take a step back. Call timeout. Take a step back. Wait for after the earnings, or at the very least, just wait for Powell, and you're going to be good, baby, but you're made for this. Look, you're making my voice crack. That's why I believe. I'm trying to bring it out. I need you to believe. So let's go, baby. It's almost the end of the year. We came this far. We didn't come this far for nothing. So let's close it out strong. I love you, Chad. Drink that water. Stay healthy. I will see you in the morning. God bless all my positive Chads. Thank you guys again, especially if you out there sharing. And let's get it, baby. Finger to the sky. I don't know why he gets like clapped. I ain't even that clapped. I'm ready to go, baby. You see that? I said bull all day, bull all day. I don't know. How about that mean I'm bullish or bearish? I'm just saying we could get it both ways. I'm speaking in stock tongues right now. Okay, I'm gonna leave. I'm ending these awkward as hell. Okay, bye.